Hi, it's Tom from Lone Horizons, and welcome back to another character advancement session for our party. We've got 6 characters who survived their funnel adventure on level 1 of the dungeon, and we've only leveled up one of them so far, Waltin the warrior, and it took over half an hour. So I don't really want to do 6 half-hour episodes of the series completely devoted to just leveling people up in detail. What I want to do is have a party of 4 characters at a time who will go into the dungeon together while the remaining ones rest in town. Because I think when I've been playing group RPG, well, not group RPG sessions, solo RPG sessions with a group of characters, once you start to have more than 4 of them, it gets a bit difficult to sort of remember everyone's personalities and role play them in the bits where they have conversations with NPCs. It also makes the combat take a bit longer, I find, and be a bit harder to keep track of. So what we're going to do is we're going to just level up the first 4, and then if one of them dies or something, or one of them gets badly wounded and needs to heal for a long time, then we'll level up one of the other ones and bring them in. So that's how we're going to run it, I think. We'll see how long this session takes. Hopefully it won't be as long so I can get to the action sooner. Anyway, let's get started with it. The next character I want to level up is Auciet, who is going to be a Cleric, because she has, I think, a personality bonus, which would be good for being a Cleric. Let's see. Auciet. No, she has 0 personality, right. I think maybe that I just did it based on the fact that she has a stamina modifier bonus and she's not weak in terms of her strength and agility, and she doesn't have a negative personality modifier. Okay, so that's basically as good as we're going to get, and I think it's important to have a Cleric for bits where there are going to be a lot of undead. I know there are some undead coming up, so I don't want them to be completely ineffectual against them. So let's get started with our character sheet. Here we go, Auciet. I'm going to put female in brackets so I don't forget. Occupation was trapper. Class is cleric. What's her alignment? Lawful. She's a lawful cleric. That's good. She's going to be serving one of the lawful gods, generally doing good. Speed 30 feet. Her XP are currently 10 out of 50 like everyone, and she's going to be level 1. Okay, let's see, what should we do first? Let's have a look at the cleric description. There are rules that govern the multiverse, some deciphered by man and some opaque. The oldest rules are the void, which no person or god understands, only Cthulhu and the old ones. So Cthulhu exists in the world of DCC. That's interesting. Then the old ones established law and chaos, which created and divided the gods. From the gods came divine rules for the behavior of mortals, and if people live by these rules, their gods reward them in this life or the next. That is what your god tells you, and as their cleric, you will persuade, convert, or destroy those who speak otherwise. You adventure to find gold or holy relics, destroy abominations and enemies, and convert heathens to the truth. You'll be rewarded even if you have to die to receive that reward. Okay, so yeah, both clerics and wizards may gain powers from gods, but in different ways. A cleric worships a greater power and is rewarded for their service. A wizard unlocks the hidden mysteries of the universe in order to dominate powers both known and unknowable. Okay, so first of all, hit points. A cleric gains 1d8 hit points at each level. Here we go, let's do that first. What are her current hit points? 5. She's pretty good. She's going to be much tougher than the warrior. Okay, 1d8. Here we go. Oh, I can't believe it. Another 1. I really can't believe that. That's incredible. All right, so she's going to have 6 hit points, maximum 6. Well, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, but she could have been a lot tougher. All right, What next? Choosing a god. At first level, a cleric selects a god to worship, and in doing so chooses one side of the internal struggle. Clerics who worship demons and devils, monsters, fiends, chaos lords, and Set and the other dark gods of the Naga are servants of chaos. Was Set an Egyptian god? I don't know, I think he might have been. Clerics who worship lawful gods, nascent demigods, principles of good, immortals, celestials, guardians, and the prehistoric gods of the sphinxes are servants of law. Clerics who stand at the balancing point, placing faith in, the neutral ones. All clerics pray to join their god in a never-ending afterlife. While still clothed in mortal form, clerics find a place among others with similar beliefs. The weak follow their order, the strong lead their order, and the mighty are living avatars of their gods. As a cleric progresses in level, they move through these ranks. A cleric's choice of god must match their alignment and determines weapon groups, holy powers, and magical spells. Clerics may choose from the gods shown on page 32. Okay, let's choose her god then. I don't think there's a lot of flavor text about the gods and lore in this, but we can kind of make it up as we play the game. Let's see. So she will choose one of the lawful ones. What does this say? Blah blah blah. Yeah, the cleric displays the vestments of their god, preaches the god's good word, and carries the weapons considered holy by that god. Okay. The cleric's alignment further determines the creatures considered unholy for their turning ability. Alright, so we've got Shul, god of the moon, Klazath, god of war, Ulesh, god of peace, Troranus, the seer father, lord of creation, Dainthar, the mountain lord, greater god of earth and industry, Gorhan, the helmed vengeance, god of valor and chivalry, Justicia, goddess of justice and mercy, Aristemis, the insightful one, demigoddess of true seeing and strategy. Demigoddess, does that mean maybe she was once a normal person who achieved good godhood or something? Alright, so I'm kind of leaning towards Klazath, god of war, because they've been at war with the goblins and that's why they've become adventurers. Or Gorhan, the helmed vengeance, god of valor and chivalry, because they've been kind of trying to right wrongs in the world. I can't speak today. Trying to right wrongs in the world. So that is related to valor and chivalry. Vengeance is kind of a different concept. But why don't we say Klazath, god of war? We don't know who Klazath is yet, but maybe I'll do some research online. Goodman Games might have released some material about the gods or something like that. Weapons for lawful clerics: club, mace, sling, staff, warhammer. Unholy creatures, which can be turned, are undead, demons, devils, chaotic extraplanar creatures, monsters, e.g. basilisk or medusa. That's interesting. If we met just a normal monster like a basilisk, they could be turned by a lawful cleric. Chaos primes, chaotic humanoids, e.g. orcs. You can even turn orcs. Wow, that's mad. So if a humanoid's alignment is chaotic, it can be turned. It's not just turn undead in this. Okay, wow, so they can basically turn anything that's evil. Classically evil. And chaotic dragons. Wow, turning a dragon. Alright, that is great. So Klazath is her god. Is there a box on here? Deity, yes. Klazath, god of war. Okay, abilities: divine aid, turn unholy. So I don't think we need to write down anything about that. I'll go back to the cleric page. Okay. Weapon training. A cleric is trained in the weapons used by faithful followers of their god, as shown on page 32. So they can use any of those weapons. So if we find a weapon in the dungeon that she wants to use, I just have to double check she can use it. Clerics may wear any armour, and their spell checks are not hindered by its use. Clerics can sometimes be a bit overpowered because they're spellcasters and fighters at the same time, basically, and they don't get any penalty to casting spells wearing armor. Anyway, so how much money does she have to spend? She has 625 silver pieces, 7 electrum pieces, 6 copper pieces. So she can definitely afford to buy an actual weapon. She's only got her sling at the moment. So she can keep the sling, but we could buy her some bullets for it, and we could also buy her a melee weapon. Let me find the equipment page. Here it is. So she could also get things like a backpack. Alright, I think it's gonna extend the video length quite a bit if I do all the sums for her shopping list on screen. So I'm gonna pause here and go and do that and then come back. Right, so I've done all the maths for her shopping list and I am gonna fill it in now. So she bought a backpack, which everyone needs really, a holy symbol, because I think if she's going to be turning monsters, she's going to have to use a holy symbol. I think that's in the rules. So I thought she could hold that in her offhand and hold her weapon in her right hand. A holy water vial. Times 1. Scale mail for her armor. So let's look up scale mail. That is armor class bonus +4. So she doesn't have any agility modifier, so it will just be 4. Okay. Check penalty, armor check penalty -4. Where was that? Armor check penalty. Is it even on here? Maybe they don't. Maybe clerics never need it because they're not a wizard or a thief or something. Okay. Speed is -5 feet, so she can only move 25 feet per turn. That's going to be a bit difficult to figure out. We'll have to work it out using our zones combat system. Fumble die is D12. Okay. Fumble die, is that? Why are there so many things that don't appear on the character sheet? We'll just have to look it up as we go, or I could put fumble die here. D12. Okay. There we go, that's the armor done. What was next? Oh yeah, I bought actual bullets for her sling, so she doesn't have to use stones off the ground anymore. 30 of them. So I'll put that down here in a kind of ammo section at the bottom. Sling, can't write and talk at the same time. Sling bullets. Times 30 and she'll just lose the stones. Who cares about them? She's still got her, weapons will be sling, which is 1d4. Missile attack, I'll just fill that in now. Missile attack and damage. So attack will be the bonus, isn't it? So we'll figure that out in a minute when we've finished making all her stats and stuff. Missile damage will just be 1d4 because she doesn't have a strength bonus. Because slings add your strength bonus at short range. Okay, so that's her sling and sling bullets done. And then I got her a warhammer because she is a follower of the god of war. I thought it makes sense for her to use a warhammer, which does 1d8 damage, which is great. Same as a longsword or a mace. So let's see what we do next, although I will just fill in her stats on here. Strength 9, agility 9, stamina 14, personality. I was going to say perception again. I keep thinking it's perception and it's not. Oh yeah, these two are swapped around. So luck is 18. She's the luckiest gal in the party, luckiest person even. And then intelligence is 11. So she's pretty intelligent, but not amazingly. So her luck modifier is 3. That is really good. And does she have any? Oh yeah, stamina modifier is +3. That is, and then stamina modifier is +1. Wow, I didn't realize she was so lucky. So what is her? Oh, amazing! Her lucky sign is Bountiful Harvest. Hit points applies each level +3. So although I rolled a 1 for leveling up her hit points, she actually is going to have 9. Is that right? 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So I couldn't count for a second. So that is much better. Okay. So she gained 4 hit points instead of 1. That is great. All right. So lucky roll is hit points +3. I think that's where you put that. +3 per level. Okay, I think it changes with her luck modifier though, because if she burns her luck, which is a permanent loss, then that modifier would go down and therefore her lucky roll would go down as well. Okay, so go back to the Cleric page, wherever that was. Oh no, I've lost it. Well, that's the gods, so it's before that. Here we go, okay. Yeah, so alignment. A cleric's alignment must match their gods, yeah. Clerics of lawful alignments belong to organised religious groups. They may lead a rural congregation, adventure on great crusades to convert heathens, or defend holy relics as a militant arm of the church. That's good to know. A cleric who changes alignment loses the support of their god. They lose access to all spells and powers from cleric levels earned under their old alignment. So caster level is a measurement of a cleric's power in channeling their god's energy. A cleric's caster level is usually their level as a cleric, but may be modified under certain blah blah blah. Don't worry about that yet. Many clerics adventure in search of holy relics that bring them closer to their gods and thus increase caster level. Magic. So yeah, okay, cleric's form of magic is known as idle magic. Allows a cleric to channel their god's power as a magical spell. A cleric has access to the spells of their god, as noted on table 1-5. Okay, a cleric has access to the spells of their god, as noted on table 1-5. So, spells known by level. It is here. So at level 1 they have 4 spells. That's amazing for a level 1 character. Okay, and this has got some more things I can fill in on the character sheet. Cleric titles. Let's use her title because she's basically decided to join the religious, the religion of, what was he called? Klazath, the god of warfare. So she is part of an organisation, so she should get a title. So level 1 lawful cleric is called an Acolyte. Okay, so Acolyte Auciet. Great. Alright, so where do we see the spells? I'm not going to read through how to cast spells and stuff at the moment because we'll do that when we get to it in the game. I think I'll just forget otherwise. Okay, well we know we get 4 spells for now, and I can fill in these saving throws and things like that. So attack bonus at level 1 is +0. So that means okay, she doesn't get an attack bonus. That's interesting. And her strength modifier doesn't give her an attack bonus either. So melee attack is going to be +0. And same with missile attack, +0. Damage, I guess, will just be 1d8 because she's got no strength modifier. That's when she's using her Warhammer, which is her default. Oh yeah, and then the missile damage is there. Okay, that is fine. Action dice, 1d20. I don't think she gets a bonus to her initiative. Doesn't say it anywhere here. The warrior got a bonus to initiative, but she doesn't. So hers will be +0 because she has no agility bonus. Saving throws, reflex +0, so she has 0 reflex save anyway. Fortitude save +1, so she already has a stamina modifier of +1, so fortitude save will be +2. That's pretty good. And then will save +1, so that's +1 as well. Okay, and then she gets 4 spells. This is a really small little area to write down than the spells that she has. Hopefully they don't have really long names. Okay, so there's a lot of information here about magic, clerical idle magic. I don't know if it's worth reading the whole thing out loud here right now because it's not coming into play yet. So the main thing about magic in DCC is they have to make a spell check. You don't just cast like sleep, for example, in old school D&D and other games. You cast the spell and it works every time, and you just figure out, you roll to see how many hit dice of creatures get put to sleep. But in this, if you wanted to cast sleep, you have to make a spell check, and you determine the level of success and how much it works. So this says the spell check is made like any other check. Roll 1d20, add the personality modifier plus the caster level. So she will just be adding 1 because she has for her caster level. If the cleric succeeds, their god attends to their request. Not always predictably, but with generally positive results. So you roll on a table to see the result of your spell casting in this, whether you're a cleric or a wizard. If the cleric fails, they risk disapproval. Their god is preoccupied, annoyed, preoccupied, like these like all-powerful gods didn't notice that a cleric called for their aid. It's quite funny. Or facing its own battle, or questions the cleric's use of its power. Some of the most powerful gods are in turn the most fickle. So a natural 1 always means disapproval. Okay, so then you roll on disapproval table and something bad happens to you. Each failed spell check increases the chance of disapproval. Okay, so after their first spell check fails in a day, seems like it resets after a day. I'll read that properly when we get to casting spells. Penalties can be offset by sacrifices. Once a cleric's range of disapproval increases beyond a natural 1, they can reduce that range by offering sacrifices to their deity, and there are different types of things you can sacrifice or different things you can do that count as a sacrifice. Sinful use of divine power, I'm guessing, like if you heal a character of an opposed alignment, or healing or aiding a character of an opposed belief or deity. So if we had a wizard who had a patron that was some kind of demon or something, and Auciet cast a healing spell on the wizard, then Klazath, I have to keep checking the name, Klazath would not approve of that. And when a cleric commits a sinful act, they may incur an additional increase in their disapproval range. This could amount to an increase of +1 for minor infractions, all the way up to +10 for significant transgressions. Okay. So sacrifices, I'm not going to read all of that just yet. We'll look it up when we need to. And then we've got the rules of turn unholy. So blah 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 blah. We read the list of creatures that we can turn. So you do an turn unholy spell check. 1d20 plus personality modifier plus caster level. Failure increases disapproval range as noted above. So is there like a disapproval range on... there is on the character sheet. Okay, so I think once we'll get disapproval range 1 for the first time we fail a spell check or do something bad, and then the range increases as it goes. And I will read that properly later when we need to. Okay, so Lay on Hands. Great, they have a healing ability which is called Lay on Hands, and that is it a spell? You still have to make a spell check. Okay, they can't heal undead, animated objects, demons, etc., golems and things. Okay, so they do a normal spell check, and then you get healed by a number of dice. Okay, we'll read about that when we need to. That is all fine. Divine Aid. As a devout worshipper, a cleric is entitled to beseech their deity for divine aid. Beneficent followers are already rewarded with spells and the ability to turn the unholy, so it must be recognised that requesting direct intervention is an extraordinary act. To request divine aid, the cleric makes a spell check at the same modifier that would apply were they casting a spell. This extraordinary act imparts a cumulative +10 penalty to future disapproval range. Wow. Based on the result of the spell check, the judge will describe the result. Simple requests, e.g. light a candle, are DC 10, and extraordinary requests, e.g. summon and control a living column of flame, are DC 18 or higher. Okay, so if we were in a really, really terrible situation, we could do that and just pray to Klazath for help, and he may get us out of the situation, but you do get a big penalty for doing that, so you can't just keep calling on them. Okay, Cleric's luck modifier applies to all spell checks to turn unholy creatures. That's really good, because I bet I'm going to forget that, but her luck modifier is +3. I really hope I don't forget that about turning creatures. But why does it say it there and not in the rules for turn unholy? That's weird. See here, it should say 1d20 plus personality modifier plus caster level plus luck modifier, but it doesn't. It doesn't say it until you get all the way over here. I don't think this is a particularly bad thing about this rulebook, about Dungeon Crawl Classics. I think this is the kind of thing that is in all OSR rulebooks. They're a bit scattered. They've scattered the rules around a bit too much. Okay, and then action dice. A cleric can use their action dice for attack rolls or spell checks. So that basically just means, everyone uses a d20 to start off with as their action die, and that's what you roll for basically doing anything, unless you've got some kind of penalty on you. Okay, so that's the list of gods there, and then that's the thief page. So we have 4 spells available to us, and I think you roll randomly for them. But I'm going to look up the magic section for clerics and we'll find out. Before I do that, I've just realised she was already carrying some equipment. So she had a badger pelt. I really don't know why I'm still carrying that around, but because she used to be a trapper. Maybe it's like her lucky badger pelt. Or would that be kind of offensive to her god if she kind of idolised an object that wasn't related to him? I don't know. She'll just keep it for now. That's interesting. She started off with a holy symbol. Oh wow, okay. That's really funny. So I didn't need to buy a holy symbol. So that means I didn't spend all of her gold. She's actually got... and I'm gonna... not that. Rub that out. I'm going to try and be a bit organised about this. I'm going to put CP for copper pieces, then silver pieces, then gold pieces, then electrum pieces, and I don't think we'll find any platinum pieces ever. So gold pieces 25 because she already had her holy symbol. That's funny that she just randomly started with a holy symbol as the bit of gear that she had as a 0 level character. And then she has 2 rations and 2 iron spikes. These boxes on the character sheets are still a bit too small for my liking. I might just use the back of the sheet if we pick up more gear along the way. Oh, and one other thing. Her random personality trait that I rolled was scholarly, which makes sense for someone who's going to be spending a lot of time studying holy books. So, is there a notes? There isn't even a notes section on here. Okay, so I am gonna. Where did I write that down for? Walton. Yeah, he has a notes section on his one. I put that he's glum. Okay. So I will just write it up here then. Scholarly. Right, so let's find the spells. Okay, I've found the cleric spells. There aren't that many, actually. Compared to the wizard spells, look at that. First level wizard spells, there's like 27. Clerics have 11 first level ones, and then there's fewer and fewer as it goes on, but I bet they've done a load more of them in zines and, supplements and things, and setting books, things like that. So anyway, there's 11. So what I want to do is, I think we're going to roll randomly to keep it interesting. I'm not going to choose, because if I choose, I'll just probably choose the best ones. And I quite like the idea of being a bit random about this, like the god has Klazath has just bestowed these abilities on Auciet without asking her what she wanted, So I'm going to roll a d12 and re-roll if it's 12. So I could roll all 4 at once, actually. So here is 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's see what she gets. There we go, just arrange them so it's easier to see. I promise I'm not moving them around. So let's see, first one is number 5. Oh, hang on, did I say I just picked out D20s. Okay, scratch that. 1 D12. Don't know why I did that. 2, 3. Where are they? There's the green one. Where's the green one? All right, so let's see. Number 5, Food of the Gods. Page 262. Let's look it up. Food of the Gods. The cleric calls upon the power of their deity to feed the masses. This spell either makes inedible food edible or magically creates viands, don't know what that means, when no other food and drink is available. Magically created food is a spongy, grey and bland tasting substance that spoils after 24 hours. So it kind of makes tofu, basically. Only joking, I like tofu. Magically created water is clean rainwater that remains drinkable for as long as it is properly stored. Okay, that's great. And then this is what I like about DCC, every spell you roll on the results table to see how well you manage to cast it, and it's got all different results that you can get. Okay, so yeah. Oh, one other thing about learning spells as a cleric is mercurial magic. I'm assuming it applies to, I'm going to look it up in the index. I'm assuming mercurial magic applies to both clerics and wizards, but basically the idea behind it, I think, is, again, magic is dangerous and difficult to use in the world of DCC, and it's not kind of like doing maths where you get the same result, like 1 + 1 = 2 every time. It's not like that, and it's not like a kind of computer program that runs itself the same each time. It's all dangerous and weird. So where is mercurial magic? 111 and 320. Let's see. 111. Yeah, so the effect of a magical spell varies according to who casts it. A magical rite invoked by one mage may be more powerful or even different than the same ritual exercised by a peer. These variations are not predictable, as the subtleties that produce them can never be fully catalogued. The mercurial nature of magic is reflected in game terms. When a wizard learns a new spell, they roll on table 5-2 to determine how that spell manifests in their hands. This percentile roll is adjusted by their luck modifier times 10%, e.g. a +2 luck modifier counts as +20% on the check. Okay, so the player rolls on the table for every spell they learn, and the effects are specific to that spell. So this is going to give us some weird detail about that spell whenever we cast it. And it could be good or bad. Just going to line these up over here. Okay, so I roll a percentage die. Going to need to use some bookmarks here. So that was for Food of the Gods. I'll just bookmark that page for the magic table. So first spell is Food of the Gods. And the mercurial magic effect. Let's roll for that. Where are they? Here and here. What's that? 37. Okay. Aura of Decay. The spell drains the physical form of all material of a certain type within 20 feet of the caster, causing it to age quickly. Wow. Roll 1d6. 1. Metal tarnishes and spots of rust appear on it. Oh, so it could affect metal all within... So if we roll a d6 when we cast this and we get 1, the metal, anything metal within 20 feet of the caster goes all rusty. So we would have to plan ahead and be like, all right, everyone move to a safe distance, because if you stand, and she'd have to take off her armor, because if you stand near her, your weapons and armor are going to go all rusty when she casts this spell. That's crazy, and it makes a big difference to how it works. Number 5, like rolling a 5 on a d6, it says food and drink spoils, but I'm going to assume that means any food and drink that is not not created by this spell. Okay, so does this mean you roll the d6 every single time and you don't know? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say we get the same effect each time. So let's roll for it now. And then I'll make a note of this on our character sheet. 1. What was it? Metal. Yeah, okay, so metal goes rusty. That's really annoying. All right, but that's the rules. So Food of the Gods. I'm going to just put a little mercurial magic section. And I'm not going to write out the whole description. I am going to put, let's put level 1 spells. Food of the Gods. I'm just going to write 37 and then in brackets 1. Okay, so we'll just look that up when we cast it. Alright, second spell is 3. So, Detect Evil. That's always a good, useful one to have. 259, because you could cast it before you go through a door in a dungeon. Yeah, so I think it's pretty obvious what that is. It's going to be Detect Evil. It's going to detect evil creatures. Okay, so we will roll for Mercurial Magic on that one. To me, it's mad that the Mercurial Magic affects all your spells. Not just on a certain number or something. Okay, 76. Silenced. At their discretion, the wizard is able to cast the spell silently. They need not speak, and any auditory effects of the spell can be suppressed. That's actually really good. Okay, so Detect Evil. I think leveling up the magic users is going to be the longest level up sessions out of all the characters. So, What was that? 76. Number 6. Let's see what that was. Holy Sanctuary 263. That sounds useful. All of these will give us advantages in fights, mostly. 263. The Cleric invokes a place of sanctuary where they and their allies are safe from harm. Okay, so things like enemies find it difficult to focus on attacking the Cleric. They're distracted, and the Cleric is more easily able to dodge their attacks. And it goes up to like, they may designate a place as a holy sanctuary. This must be a single building or self-contained location. It's lasting blah blah d something weeks. Creatures share the benefits of a holy sanctuary as follows. Blah blah blah. They get that's really good. Further up the results table. So holy sanctuary. I can't write small enough for this. 71 mercurial magic result. Worms of the earth. Pale white worms crawl forth from the earth whenever the wizard casts this spell, writhing in fiery agony or unholy delight before expiring on the open ground. Easily crushed underfoot, the worms disintegrate into greasy ash after 1d6 rounds. That's really weird. Okay, 71. So that was Holy Sanctuary. 71. I'll forget what these are and it'll be fun looking them up each time. And then spell number 9. Oh, resist cold or heat. That sounds great. 266. The Cleric repels the chilling effects of cold or heat, protecting themselves and others. Yeah, okay. They choose which to resist, cold or heat. So then, what's this? So, like, for example, on an 18 to 19 roll, the Cleric counteracts the harmful effects of cold or heat upon their body. They can ignore up to 10 points of cold or heat/fire damage for a number of rounds equal to 1d8 plus Cleric level. That's really good. Okay. But, mercurial magic for that. I'll just write that down. Resist cold/heat, I'll put. 23. Oh, what's this? Cannibal magic. The caster suffers damage equal to 1d4 plus the spell's level each time they cast it. Oh dear. Unless they are physically touching another individual willing to suffer the damage in their stead. Unwilling or unknowing individuals cannot be forced to suffer for the wizard. It says wizard. So does that mean it only affects wizards? When a wizard learns a new spell. Ah. Have I made a mistake here? Okay. Yeah. Alright, well, yeah, wizard. It's all talking about wizards. Yeah. Okay. That's crazy that wizards have a massive disadvantage. Okay, if you're watching this and you've played Dungeon Crawl Classics and, you know, you're a GM/judge or you're a player who's played a cleric, let me know in the comments under this video if I'm right or wrong. And if I'm gonna go with no mercurial magic for clerics, only wizards. But if I'm wrong, let me know and we'll just switch back to using it. So anyway, let's go back to the cleric page. Okay. So yeah, I think we've basically done everything. Yeah. We have rolled our hit points. We bought our gear and put our armor class in. We've worked out our attack bonuses. So they don't get an attack bonus, do they? Let's just double check that. Yeah, at level 1 they do not get any attack bonus. Oh, the crit die table. Crit die and table. So crit die is 1d8. And they roll on table 3, which is the same as the warrior, I think. Table 3. And then their attack roll Attack bonus, sorry. I think it's just going to be +0. Yeah, because she doesn't have a strength modifier. Yeah. Okay, so that is +0 for now. At level 2, she'll get +1. Yeah, okay, so what is this down here? Spell check. I do not know. I don't understand what I should put for the spell check number in there. Lay on hands. Names/alignment step. Oh, I think maybe for I didn't read the full lay on hands section, but for healing different aligned people to yourself, you can't heal them as well because your god doesn't want them to. I think that's what it is. Let's see. Lay on hands. The cleric's alignment further influences the results. If cleric and subject are the same alignment, they count as same on the table below. Okay. If cleric and subject differ in alignment by 1 step, e.g. one is neutral and the other is lawful or chaotic, or have different but not antithetical gods, they count as adjacent on the table below. Alright, so there's same, adjacent and opposed. So same will be lawful. Adjacent will be neutral. And opposed will be chaotic. So I'm not sure what that means. Oh, so spell check 1 to 11, 12 to... I'm not really sure what this means, but we can figure it out when we need to actually do it. And for now, I think she's done. Languages, I think she's just got common as her language, because she's not a wizard or anything. She's not a demi-human, so, and she's not got any intelligence bonus, so she doesn't get to learn any other languages at the moment. So that's it. She is done. That is Acolyte Auciet, the cleric, former trapper. She is scholarly. She uses a warhammer and a sling, and she has scale mail. And we've got her 4 spells done. So yeah, that is the next character done. Join us again next time when we'll do maybe a thief or a wizard. I think, what have we got? So we've done Auciet today. So we have here done Waltin and Auciet. So why don't we bring, for our adventure, why don't we bring with us Waltin, Auciet, Hiva and Ugmus. So we'll have a dwarf, a thief, a warrior and cleric, dwarf, thief. But then we won't have a wizard. So maybe warrior, cleric, thief, wizard. Hiva, Groban, Waltin and Auciet will be our starting party, I think. And then the others will be reserves. So that way we'll have a nice mix of abilities and toughnesses and strengths and weaknesses in the party, and we should be able to disarm traps with the thief and stuff like that. I think that'll be good. So join us next time for the next character.